So I'm going to tell you a story about how I really overcame some fear in my life. Um, Overcoming fear is really, I think it's just God hitting it straight on, hitting it head on. Um, I didn't really know how afraid I was until I did this ropes course. But first of all, I guess the first entry into facing fear was I drove across country. And I drove across country for reasons that will remain unnamed, but I definitely had to drive across country, but I drove across country by myself. It's really interesting in using that whole analogy with facing fear is that, you know what, I started at the base of a mountain. I did. I drove across Kansas, the plains of Kansas, right? Flat land. And then I got to Denver, and that's where I started to now go across the mountain. It was a gradual climb, but needless to say, the higher up I went, the more amazingly shaken I had become. Now, the thing is that I did not realize how afraid I really was until I came off the mountain. You would think coming down the mountain was easier than going up the mountain. And yes, I was in a vehicle. No, I wasn't walking. No, I wasn't climbing. But the emotional state of actually getting up that mountain and coming down that mountain was amazing. By the time I got into Utah, I was completely shaken. Okay. So when you are facing fear, climbing that mountain, going up that mountain, getting to the top of that mountain, and even coming off of that mountain, is going to shake you basically maybe to your core. But the thing is, will you get up? Will you continue to push through to make facing that fear a reality? And the reason that I really, stopped and talked about the mountain experience first is because then, and I really hadn't realized it till kind of this moment, after that, I did the ropes course, right? And the ropes course, although it was not a physical mountain, the thing is that I had to start on the ground. I had to climb this telephone pole. I had to be at the top of the telephone pole, and then I had to jump in order to get back down to the ground. That's kind of how life is, right? Ground, climb, top, jump. It's a repetition. But how cool is it when you have somebody that's going to go along that journey with you? When you have somebody that's going to quiet the voices in your head. I had a coach actually when I did the ropes course that asked me, made everybody be quiet. I loved it, silencing the noise, but made everybody be quiet so that I could hear his voice. I really thought about it, and I decided that I really wanted that change. And I remember shaking my head. Yes, I hear you. And he's like, and we're going to do this together. We're going to climb this pole together. So in facing or overcoming your fears, let's climb the pole together. I mean, it's steep. I know it's hard, and you get shaken. And I mean, even my climb, halfway through, I just started shaking like a leaf, and it was absolutely crazy. The intensity of the fear that I had at that moment. But I tell you, after I climbed the pole, after I came to the top of the pole, and I didn't look down. It's really funny because when I was at the top, for some reason, I didn't look down, and that trapeze came, and I grabbed it, and I grabbed a hold of it, and I actually made it down. And it let me know that no matter how many climbs you take, you can make it down. You will make it over that mountain. You will make it through that tough time or through that hard time. Those things are scary, but with somebody beside you, you can make that thing really happen for you. You can take it to a whole different level and just really make life very exciting.